So I thought I'd just give an update on what's happening with me in hospital. I had my first ECT treatment this morning. ECT treatment is electroconvulsive treatment or electroshock therapy. And it sounds bad when you put it like that, because I guess the way TV and movies have portrayed it was, back when you weren't put under a general anesthetic. Like, when I hear of electroshock therapy, I personally picture season 2 Asylum of American Horror Story, and all the characters that were put under electroshock treatment there, and that is scary, to say the least. So, but what happens is, the reason that, this is the way my doctor explained it, the reason that they think electroshock therapy works with mental illness is because back when people were locked up in asylums and didn't just have mental health problems but also suffered from seizures, doctors and nurses witnessed that once a person had a seizure, their mental health problems didn't seem to be as bad. So they came up with this theory, okay, if we can induce a seizure by putting electrocurrents through the brain, then people's mental health won't be so bad. That was the way it's explained to me. If you Google it, it'll be a lot more medically explained, but that's how I kind of, in my head, that's how it goes. So the way it happened for me this morning is they put I couldn't see them, I didn't have my glasses on, so it was just a big white bright room. Doctors were working around me, I was lying on a bed. They put a mask for oxygen over my mouth, and they were putting, I think it was the little sticky things where they run the electrocurrent. They put them on, I think, the sides and the tops. I think it was those 4 places. And they also put stuff to monitor my heart, and they gave me a general anesthetic, and I believe they also gave me a muscle relaxant, because obviously when you have a seizure, your body convulses, and if your body convulses too much, you can get injured. So the muscle relaxant's basically meant to be so that while you're having the induced seizure, the most they see you doing is like twitching your fingers or your toes or something. That's the way it was explained to me. So yeah, they were working all around me. I don't even remember going to sleep. I had a negative reaction to mine this morning. I just remember lying there with my eyes open. I don't even remember closing my eyes, but then I was vomiting into the breathing mask, and that was really bad, because like I was lying on my back, and if you're vomiting and you're kind of lying backwards, and obviously it's only got one place to go, and that's to come back down. So that was not nice. And then they had to stick a sucky tube thingy into my throat, and they had to suck all the gunk out, because if you get vomit in your lungs, it's bad. I think it can kill you. I think that's like, if someone starts vomiting, you're meant to roll them onto their side. From what I was aware, they didn't put me on my side. I remember being lying straight back, and it was scary because I was aware that I couldn't breathe at the time. Like, I couldn't breathe properly because I was throwing up, and obviously when you're throwing up and then you've got it in the mask and you're meant to be getting oxygen, it wasn't working for me, because my body was saying, no, you're not meant, like, you're meant to be forcing something out of you, don't breathe in. But yeah, once the vomit was gone, that made me feel gross. I think I also peed myself. I was aware that I think I did. By the time I got back to my room, I wasn't 100% sure, but I felt gross and yucky, so I had a shower and to get the vomit and what I believe I believe I peed myself, so it did wash all of that yuckiness off me. But yeah, I don't even remember like closing my eyes. I definitely didn't feel anything. It was the first thing I was aware of was I'm vomiting. And it sucks. So then they wheeled me into another room with different nurses, and it was really frustrating and scary because I had the mask over and I was very groggy, so I was trying to like get words out, but they weren't, because I had gunk in the back of my throat as well. They weren't coming out because I was at that point, I didn't even think that I'd had the treatment yet. Like, my first question after I'd stopped vomiting was, is it over? Because I thought at that point I just had a bad reaction to maybe the anesthetic and nothing had happened yet. I wasn't sure that. It's kind of like sometimes when I get a needle, or I don't like watching myself get needles. I don't mind like kind of once they're in, but I don't like watching the initial getting the needle done. And sometimes if the nurses are really gentle, I'll be looking away and then they'll be moving away from me, and I look at them and it's done, and I've gone, you know, what the hell? And that was kind of what happened there. And then I felt really groggy and really sore. Besides vomiting, one of the things I was aware of when I must have woken up was that my legs were in a different position than what they had been, because they had me lie back and have my legs, like another pillow under my the back of my knees. And I was just aware that my legs weren't in the same position that I remember putting them in. It felt like they'd moved without me moving them. And they wheeled me into a secondary room, and the nurses were working all around me. I had to have my blood pressure taken and my pulse taken. And then as the anaesthetic was wearing off, they had to ask me questions. And oh my God, I think a combination of coming out of the anaesthetic and the fact that it was like 6 a.m. in the morning, like, I don't know if I would have been able to answer these questions anyway. But the questions I got asked were the usual: full name, date of birth, where are we, or where are you? And then the hard ones were, who was the previous Prime Minister? And I just went, because I know who it is, it's Malcolm Turnbull. But while I was lying there, I was like, I have no fucking clue who the previous Prime Minister of Australia is. And the nurse even tried to help me. She's like, MT. And I was like, no, I have no idea. To be fair, though, we have had a couple Prime Ministers, like, in the past couple of years. Like, the people that came into my head were like Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd, and they were like the early 2010s. So I was quite a few years back. But then she asked me who the current Prime Minister of Australia was, and for some reason the first one that popped into my head was John Howard, but I knew it wasn't John Howard. And then she gave me a hint and said SM, and I was like, oh, Scott Morrison, ScoMo. So, you know, I felt really stupid that I couldn't remember who the previous one was, or that the first answer to come into my head when she asked the current Prime Minister was John Howard. And I think he was in the very early 2000s, I think. I'm not even exactly sure when he was Prime Minister. But yeah, throughout the day, the headache has been the one thing that's been the worst. And I've also had a very sore... This morning, my jaw and my teeth were very sore, and they said, obviously, while you're having that done, you clench down on your teeth, and I guess that's why when they did it without anaesthetic, they'd put that thing in your mouth, so because it's involuntary what your body does. Yeah, so throughout the day I've just been getting kind of muscle aches, which makes sense. The worst is in my neck and jaw, so kind of on both sides down there, and then down there as well is where it's the sorest, and then the back of my neck, and my headache has been the worst. It's been really, really bad. But they've been giving me paracetamol and Nurofen to kind of get through it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking, like, as I'm making this video, I'm making jokes and my voice sounds lighter than what I think it did in the video that I did a couple of days ago saying that I was in hospital. So is there already an improvement in a one treatment? Like, I'm not saying it's a big improvement and I'm cured and let's go. But I'm just kind of, while I'm making this video, feeling more normal, feeling more like what I did when I first started making videos, when I wasn't as bad. But yeah, so I have 9 to 10 treatments, so today was my first one. Hopefully I won't vomit in each of them. It was really disgusting. They said next time, because I got all dressed up, I got into my jeans and a nice top and a cardigan, basically just what I wear around the hospital, and they said next time you come in, just come in your pajamas. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because they made me wear a gown, and fuck, it was cold in the room. That was the one thing I was very aware of before, like while everything was going on. I wasn't sure if I was shaking because I was scared or if I was shaking because it was freaking cold. But I had pancakes for breakfast. It's been an up and down day. Like, when I've been feeling those kind of aches and pains, I've been really, really low, and crying because it hurts, like really bad headache, and but when I've been like this feels more normal to me. I got to see Mum today, and it was the first time I'd seen her in 23 days, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's because I have that separation anxiety from my parents. 23 days is a long time to not physically see them, and even though I was breaking COVID-19 restrictions, I was able to give her a quick hug, and that was really nice. That was because I've missed them a lot. But I guess the good thing is the longer that I stay here, the more it proves that I can be without them. It's still tough though. Like, when we have phone calls, I can get quite upset, and because I miss them. I miss them a lot, and it's hard not being in my own house and everything. But yeah. So 8 or 9 more treatments to go over the next 3 weeks. They happen on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Yeah. I hope I get better. Saturday night was my lowest point. I self-harmed for the first time in 7 years. I don't know if I mentioned this in my video. I don't know when I made that other video, actually, if it was Sunday or something, but I self-harmed. I think memory's coming back that I made that video on Sunday or Monday. I'm disappointed in myself that I felt the need to do that, because last time I self-harmed was when I was 13, and I cut. It was because everyone else around me seemed to be, like, it was teenage girls, and they were cutting and saying they were depressed, and I was like, well, I'm feeling shitty and down, so that must be what I need to do, is cut. And I've regretted it ever since. I'm very lucky that I don't have many scars. I've got one scar on my other arm that I can see, but the rest, unless I'm very cold or I run in a really, really hot shower and it kind of raises them, can't be seen. I regret doing this to my arm almost instantly, because what sucks is that it keeps hurting. I don't want to feel the pain at the moment, but it's still hurting. I hope it doesn't leave any marks. So that I think it was superficial enough that it will heal completely and it won't leave any marks, hopefully, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to mark my body any further. I don't want to, and this is hard for me to say because at the moment I can't picture myself in 10 years, but in 10 years I don't want to look at my arm and still be able to see one night of being stupid and not knowing what to do and how to handle my feelings. And it's the same when I look at this arm. I see that one scar and it just reminds me that I didn't know how to handle my feelings and how to ask for help without doing this as a cry for help. Yeah, that's basically what's going on at the moment. Shitty sleeping at the moment. Hopefully, because I was on Prestige and Seroquel and I got taken off both of those. The withdrawals, oh my God, are the worst thing I've ever been through. I was nauseous, I was sick, I was sore, I had headaches and body aches, and honestly, this was from prescribed medication. I can't imagine withdrawals from like hardcore drugs like ice or I don't know. I don't know drugs very well. See, yeah, my brain's okay, but it's having moments. But yeah, withdrawals were not fun. So I'm starting to get put back on the Seroquel because I can't sleep at the moment. And yeah, so hopefully when I make my next video, just as a little what's going on, I'll be in an even better place. That's the hope. I mean, yesterday I kept saying to my parents, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? And even now, even if it doesn't work a lot, I can feel that it's done something already, even if it's like, for example, an extreme example, my depression's at 100%, even if all this did was knock it back to 99%, that's something rather than nothing. So it'll be interesting to see how the next treatment goes. It's over the next 3 weeks, so I don't know if once I'm finished my treatments, that's kind of when I'll be out of the hospital, so that'll be a 6-week stay minimum. I'm just going to have to see how it goes. I don't want to keep staying here. I want to go home. But I also don't want to leave with the chance of me getting so depressed again that I want to kill myself, because I have a plan. I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And given the opportunity, I will do it. So that's why I need to be in hospital, because this is going to save me from doing that. And it sounds extreme, but I can't keep living with this depression like I have. And I hope I don't have to kill myself. But if I can't get to a healthy point, I'm not going to say cured or fixed, but if I can't get to a healthy point where I'm not waking up every single day wishing I was dead, or wishing an accident would happen or take away from me, or at times even starting to do something that would kill me, then I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'll leave this one here for now.